All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to today's edition of Bracket Up, where we rank the mundane to the slightly less mundane. My name is Handy Dandy Andy Jarek, and today I'll be taking you all on a little journey through the best major Greek god or goddess in our wonderful randomized single elimination tournament format. Joining me, as always, is best man in the whole wide world, Andy Mysak, with the best name in the whole wide world, I guess.
I'll take best man.
Both. He can be both today. How are you doing, Andy?
I'm good. I have somebody next to me today.
Yeah, it's the Giggle King, Mr. Julian Griffin. Pivot that camera. Let's see him. Oh, it's beautiful. He's beautiful.
Oh, thank you. I do like being beautiful.
Hell yes. I wouldn't say it if it wasn't true.
Oh my gosh.
It's wild because on my end, I only see, Andy's face and Roy Nader. So, he's not there. Julian's there, but I don't get to see his face as much. So you're going to have to keep pivoting this camera throughout.
Oh, you don't see Julian on his camera?
No, I don't. I don't see me either.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As long as the audio is coming through, that's good enough.
Okay. I mean, as long as you can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you just fine.
I think there's a setting on your Zoom that you could change it to.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably a me thing and not a you thing. Oh, there we go. I don't know why. It wasn't in gallery view. Okay, so we've got the 14 most major Greek gods and goddesses. I tried to just come up with, the people who are on, like, Mount Olympus and not just various people in, like, myths that we've heard of, like, Hercules or Prometheus. So these are, like, the tops. So, yeah, I made up a little presentation, pass it over to Andy so he can kind of go through it as I explain the little fun facts and whatnot. As a whole, these are some of the shittiest people in the world.
Yeah.
A whole, so petty and mean.
I love it.
Whoever we end up picking, I'm just going to feel like, oh, well, I guess so. I'm not going to feel good about any of these.
Pick one and run with it hard then.
The old bracket up strategy.
I'm going to go with the one that I like the most.
That's a great strategy.
Yeah, whoever I'm feeling, I'm rocking him.
All right, Andy, do you want to get the PowerPoint going for our first matchup? So you can see I found this fantastic piece from a comic book. We've got Zeus versus Hera, and we all kind of know Zeus being the king of the gods and the god of the sky and the weather, and the thunder and lightning and law and order, and all these cool things that are TV shows and elements.
Oh, Zeus.
But so Zeus is just horny. He's
he's a fuckboy.
fucking horny. And he's willing to shapeshift into like animals and creatures to seduce others. He will do whatever the hell it takes to get laid. He wooed Persephone as a serpent, Asteria and Agnia as an eagle, Botus as a goat, Europa as a bull, Medusa as an ant. How do you seduce somebody as a little ant? Tell me that.
How do you seduce any of these? But like,
With
hey
an
man,
animal.
yeah, hey man, I'm a goat.
That
And
is
then you're kind of
weird.
like, you present your butt to them like, ah.
That is weird. Like, you come on as a bull, like, good God, like, my one weakness, bulls.
And then he also seduced Pythia as a dove, Leda as a swan, and there's probably more. But the dude, he does whatever he wants to get his dick wet. And I guess it succeeds because he seduces all of these women.
And gets his dick wet.
I know. And all of this, like, he's with Hera, who we'll talk about more in a second, but like, they're brother and sister and husband and wife. And she has to deal with this shit all the fucking time. All the time. He's cheating on her.
Why didn't she just leave his ass?
I don't know. There were like 12 people in the world at this point, so there's not a whole lot to choose from.
Well, Zeus is choosing all 11 others.
I know. It just seems like, in modern media, Zeus is kind of portrayed as like, just this general good father figure type, like good old Zeus, and like no one pays attention to the creepiness and the weirdness. But Just my
He's a
opinion.
politician, a regular Southern politician, or a Baptist church leader.
There we go. Let's move on to Hera. She's the queen of the gods, and she's the goddess of marriage and women, childbirth and heirs, kings, and empires as well. Again, wife and sister of Zeus, usually depicted kind of like a regal-looking woman in the prime of her life. She's got a veil and a lotus tip staff, just looking, very queenly. So yeah, all of those infidelities that Zeus, did would obviously drive her to be incredibly jealous and vengeful, but often would take out her, anger on the people that Zeus would cheat with and not Zeus himself. So that's kind of not a problem, but you're going after the wrong person there.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you know this little minor story, but a nymph named Echo had the job of distracting Hera from all of Zeus's affairs by kind of leading her away and distracting her and flattering her. And Hera eventually discovers this, and then she cursed Echo to only repeat the words of others. I didn't know that was a thing. I didn't know that's where it came from.
Oh.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
She don't seem so bad.
Yeah, I mean, she's more of, I don't say a victim, but having to deal with all of Zeus's shit all the time, I'd be vengeful too.
Yeah, Zeus seems like kind of a dick.
Yeah, I don't like him. Hera, I understand.
Oh, I have to start this tournament, don't I?
Oh, whoopsies.
We good. So I think I'm ready to make my vote for Hera.
Same.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'll vote too. Sure.
You deserve better, sis. You'll do better.
Seriously. All right, next up we've got Aphrodite, the goddess of beauty and love and desire and pleasure and all of those sensual things. Born from sea foam and the severed genitals of Uranus / Poseidon.
Boy, that does not. Seafoam and genitals are not what I would think of with beauty, love, despair, maybe.
What do we mean by severed genitals?
Let's look that up. Let's Google Aphrodite severed genitals.
Yeah. Oh, you better be in incognito mode, otherwise
No,
you're
I'm just
Facebook ads.
Okay, I'm just going from Born from Uranus, and we'll see where that takes us.
Oh, okay. That's different.
Oh, okay. So, all right. An author says that Aphrodite was born from the white foam produced by the severed genitals of Uranus after Uranus's son threw them into the sea. So, again, in this old time,
The white foam, you say?
people just didn't get pregnant and then birth a child like normal. Things sprouted out of bodies and became human or became gods from dicks. And I don't know how you explain all this stuff.
The white sea foam from the severed genitals.
Because what it sounds like is Poseidon might have been a fuckboy too, and he had slept with some woman, severed genitals, delivering seed, white sea foam. They're just being politicians about it and keeping the woman's name under wraps because Poseidon's got a good reputation and he's got to keep it on the low. You know what I mean?
I like the term. I just like severed genitals. We glossed over the sun cut off the genitals and threw them into the sea.
I don't know. Maybe it was his son's girlfriend or something like that.
No, it's
sleeping with. And
cut off my dad's genitals, threw them into the sea.
I don't know.
I think they need to be on Jerry Springer or something. You need to get every Greek god in a row and have Jerry talking to him. So, okay, Aphrodite is also married to Hephaestus. I'm terrible at pronouncing things, but we'll see him later. But she was frequently unfaithful to him, never bore him any children, but had lots of affairs, most notably with Ares, the god of war, who we'll also talk about later, who she had 3 sons with, and also was, had affairs with Adonis and Anchises and Anchises. I don't know. Yeah, that's Aphrodite, kind of in a little nutshell. And then we've got Hestia, who's like the complete antithesis. She's the goddess of the hearth and home, domesticity and chastity. My God, I can't fucking talk today. Chastity. I'm sorry. And she loves the kettle and swore herself to perpetual virginity.
Boo!
She sounds like the most pure. I like this. I like this.
Perhaps too pure.
Everything else really sounded like a Maury show.
Yeah.
Everything else sounds like Jerry Springer.
But there's kind of, I mean, I enjoy a good viewing of the Jerry Springer show.
Everyone enjoys a good viewing, but this is a nice breath of fresh air. She's too responsible.
She's too pure.
She loves the kettle. I don't know what the kettle is, and she swore herself to perpetual virginity. She's saying no while you guys are fucking and cutting each other's balls off. I'm over here living my good life and staying away from all that nonsense.
When there's 12 people on the earth, though, you need to procreate a little more. Swearing yourself to perpetual virginity is just dooming the human race.
Why does she have to? She doesn't have to do anything.
I mean, I guess with this group of fuck nuggets, I guess she doesn't.
They literally are fuck nuggets, but she is not. I appreciate that. Go ahead, Hestia. I like that.
Yeah, I don't mind her. Also, she's not in a lot of. Well, obviously, like you just said, she kind of has a low profile and doesn't deal with all of that Jerry Springer shit. Let's see, a little fun fact. You guys are kind of familiar with Cronus swallowing all of his children to Cronus before Zeus and
That
all.
can be taken in multiple ways.
Come on,
Sure. I mean, like literally eating them.
I know.
Swallowing them.
Cannibal.
Hestia was the first person to be devoured and the last to be like thrown back up after Zeus forced him to, disgorge the siblings. So she is kind of both the eldest daughter and the youngest daughter.
She's been through some shit. That's why she doesn't fuck with nobody.
Yeah.
What's going on with Zeus and who we'll get to soon, Ares, and be like, I don't need a piece of that.
No, I don't need any of this.
Yeah, but if I'm watching Jerry Springer and Hestia comes on, I'm probably changing the channel.
Oh, boo. I would watch it because she would be the voice of reason.
I don't want that in Jerry Springer.
Jerry is the voice of reason. Everybody else is a monster.
And she probably would show up as like a guest on the show.
The guest could be even worse, though, than the crowd. So, side story, there's a character in 90 Day Fiancé whose daughter was on the Maury show, and she was like the person in the crowd they turned to, the guest, and she's crazier than all of them.
Yeah, but she's not, because sometimes you have those like people who come up. Maybe this is a Dr. Phil show. Maybe that's that.
That's worse.
I like Dr. Phil.
He's an asshat.
I mean, The Ranch is horrible, but I still like Dr. Phil.
He's a piece of shit.
He was great in Scary Movie 4. It's fantastic.
Are we ready to vote?
Yeah, I think I know where Julian and I are going on this.
Of course, Hestia.
I'll vote for Hestia, too.
Oh, okay. Look at that. A little surprise.
Aphrodite doesn't do anything. She's just I don't know. We don't really get over Aphrodite or talk about her too much.
Exactly. All right, next up, we've got Apollo and his little Playmobil figure diagram there. So he is the god of music and arts, knowledge and healing, the plague, prophecy, poetry, manly beauty, of course, manly beauty, and archery.
Look at all that manly beauty.
One
I know.
of the things is not like the other.
It's so true.
It's the plague.
It's so random.
It's like I'm the god of music and arts and the plague.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he is twin with Artemis, who I think they're in this matchup together against each other, I believe. I didn't plan it that way. I honestly just randomized it 3 times, and like all of these related matchups showed up. I'm like, oh, this is good for the beginning. It gives us some stories to talk about. So again, like many of these people, Apollo had lots of affairs. And of course, they weren't good affairs. They were very unhappy because I don't know what these gods and goddesses expect, but people get hurt when you cheat on them. So
Bunch of fuck boys.
Apollo is perfectly sad like everybody else. So signs and symbols include a wreath, bow and arrow, a lyre. His sacred animals include roe deers, swans, and pythons. Just all over the place. I don't understand.
I think I get it. I totally get it. God of music, arts, knowledge, manly beauty. Sounds like a up and coming musician.
Sounds like a Chad.
It sounds like I'm in a band. My band's awesome, and they could be actually really good. But like most musicians and rock stars, they have a lot of affairs. And Plague, we all know what that is.
And look, we've got a story about running into a musician yesterday, let me tell you.
I don't know if he has any plagues though. If you know what I'm talking about.
What up?
He's definitely bisexual also. Had all sorts of different lovers, female or male. Didn't segregate or persecute based on
More to cheat with.
Exactly. I mean, he's smart about it, I guess, and he's the first person on this list, and maybe the only person I don't know for
Not
sure
smart
who's
enough not to catch the
bisexual.
plague, though.
Man, Apollo, you dirty bastard. Let's go
Yeah.
check out his brother.
Oh.
Oh,
Sister.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, again, the beautiful Playmobil version. Artemis, goddess of the hunt, wilderness, animals, the moon, and young girls.
No.
It sounds extra creepy. That's just straight from
Oh.
Wikipedia.
Wait, that's sister or brother?
Sister. I said
sister.
brother because I
I
thought.
see twin brother of Apollo.
Ah,
Oh, whoopsies. That's my mistake. Definitely sister.
Okay.
I should have proofread. So her attributes include, hunting spears, animal pelts, deer, other wild animals. Obviously, her sacred animal is a deer as well. She really, really enjoys deer. So much kind of like Hestia, Artemis also preferred to remain a maiden and sworn never to marry anybody.
Yes.
There's a handful of them are just kind of doing the right thing. Well, maybe not the right thing, but the smart thing, certainly.
Not like her fuckboy ass brother, Apollo, catching the plague from everybody.
look, Apollo was just having a good time, just doing his thing.
Too good of a time, and now he's giving everybody the plague.
Yeah, well, someone needs to.
No. What kind of message are you trying to send today?
I don't know.
Chastity, abstinence is okay.
Yeah. What kind of message are you saying?
Chastity and abstinence is okay if you want to do it.
Fair enough. That's fair.
There we go.
But Apollo, he's living his best, maybe worst life.
Nah, it didn't sound like a good life to me. Not gonna lie.
So you guys remember again when Kronos swallowed all of the sons or all of the Zeus and his siblings and whatever. Artemis had to be broken out of his head with a hammer. Sorry. Athena was born in Zeus's head. Oh, Athena. Yeah. No, we're on Artemis. Never mind. Sorry, I'm so bad. Cha 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 cha.
Artemis. Great name though.
Yeah, pretty solid stuff. Again, she's cool. She's cool.
Is she not in a lot of stories because she ain't one of the Maury
Crazy
show
ones.
folks?
I mean, she's definitely in some of the bigger things like the Trojan War and stuff like that, but I'm trying to find more of the Jerry Springer details.
Jerry.
Not doing the best job of it right now. But that might be enough, regardless, to put this to a vote if we are going for the hunting Artemis or the manly beauty of Apollo.
The fuckboy Apollo.
Fuckboy Apollo.
I guess another sweep is in order here.
Yeah, sure.
Go with. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna go with Apollo. Give him a pity vote.
Reason being, you sitting here talking mad game for Artemis.
Everyone can change.
None of these fuckboys changed.
Oh, that's true. They don't change.
Well, your vote is locked in stone now.
Whatever. Pity vote.
Pity vote for
Oh,
Apollo.
a couple big ones next.
Yeah, next up, people you've probably heard of, Ares, the god of courage and war and bloodshed and violence, and was very unpopular. This guy, I mean, I'm sure he had his fair share of infidelities, but I think more of the other gods hated him just because he constantly had to start wars and kill people. And that gets annoying when you're just trying to live your life.
And fuck.
Yeah,
And-
everybody's out at a barbecue and he just wants to fight everybody. He sounds drunk.
Yeah. So he represents like the chaos of war in contrast to Athena, who's more of like the strategy and tactics.
Hmm.
He just wants people stabbing each other.
I love it.
And I mean, he gets what he wants.
Yeah, what's not to love here?
Always ready to run a fade.
Yeah, but this guy, you know, I didn't talk about Zeus's role in the God of War series, but Ares, you know, you kick his ass at the end of God of War 1, I believe, right?
I think.
That's where Kratos becomes the God of War, I believe.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah, so Ares, he's just a punk, you know, got killed by Kratos.
But Kratos is dope though.
Kratos is dope.
Too bad we don't have anything about Kratos in here.
just look, I'll do a whole slide on Kratos if you need. I've played all the God of Wars.
So when Hephaestus and discovered his wife Aphrodite was having an affair with Ares, he decided to trap them in a net and then expose them to just the other gods for, I don't know, finger pointing, laughing, chastising. Pretty nice stuff from Hephaestus to just turn Ares into a little humiliated bitch.
You might want to leave the planet.
He might just want to start stabbing.
You gotta kill him.
Fucking start stabbing, Ares. Start
Man,
stabbing.
Yeah, if I was Ares, I'd be like, all right, you're gonna laugh at me, humiliate me in this net while I'm fucking your wife. You
Yeah,
gotta die.
who's really the more humiliated one here?
You gotta die. It's over.
Yeah, I mean, he's the God of War.
You know, you almost feel bad for him because he's in this cycle of, well, everybody dislikes me, so I'll go do something that everybody dislikes and wonder why they dislike me. So in my anger, I'll go do something that'll piss a bunch of people off, and then they're going to be upset that I pissed them off, and then I'll go piss them off again. And it just never stops. But the guy needs to make some better decisions.
Well, he could just stab his way out of any predicament, I think.
That makes more people mad at him. And
Stabby.
I guess so. All right, so that's a little bit about Ares, and now we've got Poseidon here, the god of the sea and the rivers, floods and droughts and earthquakes, and is generally kind of a crabby bitch.
We're just gonna ignore the picture, huh?
Well, I was gonna get to the Poseidon Adventure right there, that beautiful remake of a much better film. Yep. Poseidon, I always kind of thought he was cooler than what he is.
Yeah.
I like the sea and all that, and it's like, oh, that's badass. You can make, you know, waves and storms and things like that. And no,
I
he's
know.
kind of dumb.
I know they're all a bunch of drunk assholes, but I remember even young thinking like, wow, Poseidon's just a drunk asshole.
Yeah, he's just kind of. Maybe it's because he's stuck in the water where there's, you know, not nearly as many people
Like,
to preside over or anything. He's bored.
Story. I
Can
need
you
to
say that again? Sorry, I didn't hear you.
Poseidon. Other than that, he's just cool.
He's a crabby bitch. That right there tells you everything. Crabby
Crabby
bitch.
Little story time. Poseidon and Athena wanted to be guardians of a particular city, so they had a gift-giving competition to the residents of said city. Poseidon, in all of his intelligence, gave them a beautiful spring to get water from, except the water was incredibly salty and thus useless to the people of the village because we all don't drink salt water from the ocean. Meanwhile, Athena gave them an olive tree that gave them, you know, olives, olive oil, and wood. And she won, and that city became Athens.
Yeah. I also remember Poseidon, as you mentioned in this, kind of being a dumbass.
Mm-hmm.
Like everything he does is just like in a drunken stupor, and it's always kind of like Poseidon.
He just wants friends, and no one wants to be his friend. And he's not. He's socially inept. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you could say the same about Ares.
You could.
So after that decision,
Not socially inept. He's just an asshole. Poseidon, it really does sound like, because I mean, he just like, here's some water. It's salty. Oh man.
I shouldn't have had that fifth.
so okay, you feel bad that he's dumb about that, but afterwards he then sent a giant flood to punish the Athenians for not choosing him.
Oh, that's bitchy. Yeah, that is a little bitchy.
That's what I'm saying, is that he just kind of like he looks cool and you could imagine him being cool, but he's just kind of dumb and vindictive.
I mean, I'm ready to vote, and I'm going Ares all day.
Oh, well, yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I agree. I'm gonna go ahead and go with Ares.
I'll give
It's
I'll,
just
I'll give dumb lug Poseidon a pity vote.
Because it's like Poseidon would be cool if he wasn't such a little bitch about that.
Yeah, Poseidon is though.
Because how are they gonna drink salt water, man?
Poseidon is a big dumb fucking oaf.
I'm sure that Athena was just like, how are they gonna drink salt water? Poseidon. How are they gonna do that? How are they gonna process that?
If he just put down the beer for just a moment, he would have figured it out.
Put like a filter in that throat or something? I don't know.
All right. Next matchup, we've got Hades versus Hephaestus. So this is Kingdom Hearts Hades.
I was gonna say this is
Glad you noticed.
Kingdom Hearts.
No, this is right out of the movie Hercules.
No, this is Kingdom Hearts. This is the model from Kingdom Hearts, for sure.
Yeah, didn't you also see this is also from Hercules?
Right.
Movie.
Yeah, he's from Hercules the movies, but this model, this picture is Kingdom Hearts.
Oh boo, I still like it, and it's still played by James Wood.
Oh, he's cool. I like the model.
I like
It's
him.
very
I
nifty.
genuinely like him.
Julian's just trying to figure out the lightness and the darkness from within. Something about a nobody and a somebody and a key blade. I don't know.
Yeah,
Something
you
like
can
that.
keep all that. I just like James Wood. He's from Hercules. He's cool.
So much internal conflict raging within your depths, I'm sure.
he just needs to be Norded is all.
No, I'm good. You keep all that. Goodbye.
So we all kind of know that Hades is, the god of the underworld and death, and he rules the river Styx, and wealth as well and greed. What are you laughing at?
Doesn't actually look like this.
Well, as far as I know,
This.
yeah. So he loves drinking, and has a drinking horn and a cornucopia, and of course the three-headed dog Cerberus.
That's what's up. He's really living his best life.
Yeah,
Is he a fuckboy?
I think he gets a bit of a bad rap just because every sort of piece of media that comes out with him in it, he has to be like the main villain who's, creating a plot and trying to take over, something. And from what I've, not a ton, but from what I've read, he's just kind of content being down there in the underworld and just doing his job.
Is he a fuckboy?
Probably.
I mean, he's got to get some.
You're
They're all-
over here talking good shit about that virgin life, and then you're like, well, he's gotta get some.
I don't know. They're all them dead people now.
That's worse.
No.
So his consort was Persephone, but the good thing is that it's really only been her.
Oh, so he's faithful.
I like him now.
I like that.
He did abduct her.
Oh.
Yeah, sorry to burst that bubble. Yeah, she didn't really submit to him willingly, but was abducted by him while picking flowers in fields.
Oh man, that was golden for you, Hades. Now you gotta go kidnap somebody.
Hades.
But I mean, as with many of these relationships, she can forgive that. Like, that's okay to get abducted. She'll be on his side for
Stockholm syndrome.
right for the rest of time.
Oh wow.
But yeah, once that sort of happened, she'd always kind of be by his side and would be, laying on the couch next to him whenever he'd meet with other gods or goddesses and stuff. The real ride or die lady.
Well, it's a beautiful story, but it's
Beautiful as Beauty and the Beast when you really get down to it.
yeah, that's
just abducted and developed Stockholm syndrome, and they call that love,
at
baby.
least he was faithful. There's that. He was
I'm faithful to the woman I stole.
I mean, he could go around fucking everybody and cheating on her. That would be even worse if he
Nope.
kidnapped her and then started cheating on her.
Look, yeah, but
I'm just saying the good outweighs the bad on this one.
oh man,
That's what I'm saying.
Wow.
And abducting somebody is really fucking bad. But I'm just saying, at least out of the bunch, he was the faithful one.
let's see what he's up against before I make any decisions here.
Last little fun fact about Hades. When the ancient Greek people wanted to gain favor with him, they would just smack their heads against the ground so that he could hear them.
Yo, Hades!
And I'm sure he's like, sure, just keep. I'm sure he found it hilarious.
Oh, absolutely. Wouldn't anybody?
Obviously, he's a giant troll.
Oh, God. All right. So Hades is going up against Hephaestus, who's a god of fire metalworking, crafts. And the smith of the gods would make their, weapons and metal things. Sooty Grunters are named after him, and those are certain fish. Somebody, I'm gonna try and find this. I remember looking this up when I made this a week ago.
A lot of questions right off the bat.
Yeah,
Hey, where do you get Sooty Grunters from? With his...
well, sure. It was on his Wikipedia page, and it's a freshwater fish found in northern Australia, and it's like official, scientific name is like Hephaestus fugilinosus, and as far as I noticed, no other, god or goddess on this list has a fish named after them.
Also, why fish if he is the god of fire and metalworking?
I have no idea. I don't know. These fish don't even look, like fiery or metal-y. They just look like regular old saltwater fish. So he might be one of my favorites. He's one we never really learned about much in high school or school. I remember too much, but he's usually portrayed as like deformed in some way, and often would need like kind of a wheelchair. Yeah, Sooty Grunter, just a fish.
Wait, so he's handicapped?
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That explains the donkey.
Yes, you gotta get around somehow.
Wheelchair, apparently.
So really the extent of his deformation was like his foot was all deformed, so he couldn't really like walk, run, move with the same speed as the other gods. So he would often need something to get him from place to place. And I think he did come up with a, prototypical wheelchair, and then would just be all for, riding donkeys to wherever he needs to be.
Why not a horse? Why a donkey?
Slow and steady, man. It's no rush. Time wasn't even a concept yet.
Yeah, because like, what if he had a home, and then he had a little workstation, and he didn't have to go far.
So we remember that he was the one who, when Ares was having an affair with his wife, was like, I'm gonna put y'all in a net, so I'm gonna actually punish somebody and punish both of you and not just one of you. Smart man, Hephaestus is.
He needed that win. He needed a win in his life.
Didn't have many.
I make fire, I make metal. Nobody respects me. I ride a donkey around because I can't walk good.
Can't walk no good.
Can't walk good. You know what? I need a win in my life. I need something.
How much of a win is it though that now everyone's like, hey, aren't you the guy whose wife slept with Ares? Like, yeah, that's me. No, it's probably better than you.
I feel bad. He's probably gonna turn into an incel later.
Oh God, Christ.
Let's see what else about Hephaestus. Again, just more feeling bad. In Greek mythology, there's all these various accounts of what had happened or not, and I can't even parse out like which one's the most truthful. So here's two different ones where first Hera threw him out of the heavens because of his deformed foot, and then fell into the ocean and had to be raised by mortals. And then there was another one where he was flung down from the heavens by Zeus because he was trying to rescue his mother from Zeus's advances.
That sounds more likely.
Here comes Zeus.
That sounds more like it. And probably Zeus made up some story like Hera threw him over. I mean, she didn't like his foot. Remember that time she said it was ugly? She threw him over. And then he went to go cheat on Hera again with his own.
Just somebody else. Yeah.
Zeus.
That sounds
I
like
think that's about all for Hephaestus.
Well, I feel bad for Hephaestus.
I feel bad for him, but I'm voting Hades.
I'm voting Hades. Hades cool.
Hades is cool.
Outside of the kidnapping thing.
Yeah.
Sure. I'll give the pity vote. I just like that Hephaestus is just kind of the workhorse, and like he still just does these things. Like I just like smithing and creating swords and tongs.
Look at me smithing and shit.
All right, so Hades moving on to round number 2, and then our final matchup in round number 1 is going to pit Dionysus, and he is the god of wine and fruitfulness, parties, just generally kind of the fun things in life, being drunk and festivals and chaos and the theater, all that good stuff.
Nice.
Party man.
Yeah, he always had the grapes. The man loves grapes and wine. Let's see what else.
Yeah, he's not my good side. How are you gonna ruin it?
Look at
Yeah,
it.
exactly. So he was carried in the thigh of Zeus. So the little myth there is that Zeus actually took him from his mother's womb, and for some reason, I don't know why, stitched Dionysus into his own thigh and just carried him there until he was ready to be born. Again, I don't get how biology works now in those days, but I guess a man carrying another man in his thigh is fine.
Oh wait, okay. Let's think about this.
Let's not say we did.
Carried him in his thigh, stitched him. Maybe maybe Zeus actually just took the kid. He just took him. Maybe not before he was born, because that doesn't make sense, but he just took the kid.
Well, according to the myth, he took him before he was born, sewed him into his thigh, and birthed him through like his fucking knee or something.
Zeus is weird.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Yes.
That's going to be like the main thesis of this presentation. Zeus is weird. 3 good words there.
Zeus is fuckboy.
He's weird.
Zeus be Chad.
I mean, he's weird. I mean, he seduces people in animal form, which I don't get. And then he's taking unborn children and putting him in his body. That I don't get.
There's so many different like ideas about why Zeus sewed him into his thigh. There's so many.
I feel like that could be an allegory for something.
It's Chad Zeus.
That has to
Okay.
be an allegory for something. I don't.
Oh my goodness. So much stuff. But otherwise, Dionysus is just the party guy, also known as Bacchus. Just the dude absolutely loves fun. He loves
yeah.
fun.
He loves escapism because he's coping with the trauma of being taken out of somebody's womb and then put into somebody's thigh. I would drink all the time if I knew that was my backstory.
Yeah, but he's presenting the fun to the people as well as the god. He's like, come on, fun and drunkenness.
Yeah, it's funny because the most people who are the most hurt are the ones who are always like screaming, "Yeah, let's party, let's get drunk, let's do ecstasy."
I think when he's the god of ecstasy, it's not the drug.
You don't know that.
I mean, I'm pretty sure there wasn't ecstasy when they were forming these myths.
And there's also vegetation, so he could have been vegan. Who knows?
How dare he be vegan?
All his wine, all his drink is vegan.
Can't he
Friendly.
just be like a fun guy without,
With a traumatic past,
Yeah.
this man needs therapy.
Well,
I see a hurt person when I see them. I know a hurt person when I see him.
all right, here's the big question. Is he a fuckboy?
Yeah, that's
Not really. I didn't
No.
know anything about that. He also had the power to restore life to the dead. And
Hell yeah.
Yeah, when his mom died, he went down to visit Hades and eventually just brought her back up to the heavens. Just, sweet, actually.
I like him. It's going to be tough to beat him.
True, might be. And then this is Demeter, who's the goddess of grain and agriculture, harvest, growth, and nourishment. In all of her intelligence, she tried to make a baby immortal by throwing it into a fire. Demeter.
God, she's Poseidon level stupid.
that is a match made in heaven.
So, okay, I'll tell you that story. So she was looking for her daughter and assumed the form of an old woman, asked her for shelter. This guy took her in to nurse a couple of kids, and to reward that guy's kindness, she planned to make one of his sons immortal. So she secretly anointed the boy with ambrosia, which is, I guess, just a food and drink of the Greek gods, and then just laid him in the flames of the hearth to gradually burn away his mortal self. But the mom walked in and was like, "What the hell are you doing? Get out, you dummy!" And grabbed her son out and then kicked Demeter out of their house because you're just trying to murder your kid.
Fucking Demeter.
Okay.
Let's see.
You're not telling me anything that's gonna convince me to beat out that party god.
I guess. So the person that she was always looking for was Persephone, who Hades abducted to kind of have as her consort.
Wait, Persephone was Demeter's daughter?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
wow.
So she's going on, a vengeful quest to
Mother-in-law.
get her daughter back.
Okay, so she's freaking out because she lost her daughter who was abducted and eventually just kind of stayed with Hades. So that's why she's making stupid ass decisions.
But if she's always around Hades, wouldn't she be like, oh, ah?
I mean, she was kidnapped. How does she know?
Because all the gods do shit together. They have their council of gods, and and when Hades had gods over to do god things, she was there.
To do God.
Yeah, they did god shit,
Doing God.
There's no way she didn't know unless she's brain dead. It's like, that my daughter? I don't know.
Hanging out with Poseidon too much.
So what happened there is that Demeter eventually realized that it was Hades who abducted Persephone and went down to the underworld to talk. And Hades agreed that he would release Persephone back if she had eaten nothing while in his realm, in the underworld. However, Persephone had eaten a small number of pomegranate seeds that Hades secretly slipped to her, probably when she was, sleeping or whatever. So
That's called manipulation.
That is manipulation. I'm beginning to like Hades less.
so then that bound her to Hades and the underworld. So yeah.
Okay. I don't like Hades as much anymore.
Yeah.
That's coercion.
Truth.
But between these two, there's not even a shred of doubt in my mind. I'm going for Party Man.
I'd
I'm
like
gonna
to
go with Demeter.
Yeah, I'd like to have I love my mother, but I'd love to have a mom who'd go on the war path.
But not Party Man?
I mean,
It sounds like he needs therapy.
He ain't no fuckboy. He ain't no stupid idiot. He's just out there having a good time. I like having a good time.
He's drunk all the time. You don't like drinking.
So, doesn't mean I don't like to have a good time.
you love your parties. I'm still voting for Demeter.
She
We'll see what-
sucks.
She doesn't suck.
She
She's
sucks.
a poor
You
one.
suck.
She's just depressed. And when you're depressed and you're sad,
You throw children in fires.
Yeah, you make bad decisions. You just make bad decisions. She's
You know-
like, I didn't mean no harm. I
you
just
know-
wanted to make the boy immortal. I just miss him. I just miss my daughter.
You know who didn't make bad decisions despite the therapy you say they need? Party Boy. Party Boy didn't hurt nobody. Party Boy just Party Boy.
Yeah, but no one takes him serious.
It's better than throwing babies in fires.
The only thing that the only person that took him serious was Zeus when he sewed him into his fucking leg.
Look, Party Boy, he's gone now, but may he rest in peace, Party Boy. I don't even know how to say that. Dionysus?
Dionysus.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Party Boy.
Party Boy. All right, well, too bad. Party Boy stays in round one. We've made it to our Elite Eight, and our first matchup has Hera, the Queen of the Gods, who we talked about a little while ago, against our second to last newest character is Athena, who is generally, I think, a favorite of a lot of people. Goddess of reason and wisdom, intelligence, skill, peace, warfare, battle strategy, and of course, handicrafts. Never know when you just got to start knitting or woodworking.
Sure, one of those things is not like the other.
That's what all of these gods are like this. Here's a bunch
Yeah.
of things related to how they act and feel, and then like woodworking.
And then a random hobby.
Why not? I guess everyone needs something to pass the time when there is no such thing as time. So she was born from Zeus's forehead, fully armored. That's gotta hurt. Like you're pulling something out of your forehead. Plus you've got plate mail on and little spikes and sharp edges. Can't be fun. Let's see. So she's always like the patron of heroes. Everybody always looks up to her, like Odysseus. Like, I love Athena so much. She's my role model type. And I think that was kind of the case for a lot of the mythological figures that we saw at that time. Her symbol is the olive tree, usually accompanied by an owl on like her shoulder. Obviously, a smart gift giver, where she gives the people of what came to be Athens that olive tree rather than salt water. Definitely not a dum dum.
No.
I think we're getting a little echo
Not
on
a-
Andy.
On mine. Is there anything I can do about that?
I don't know. It just sort of started, and I don't hear it anymore. So we good.
Okay. Hopefully it was just a glitch in the matrix. Yeah, Athena, pretty cool. Pretty cool.
And you didn't say anything negative about her.
Yeah, she's just smart.
Yeah, I'm looking to see if she cheated on, anybody. And again, everyone probably did at some point.
Too busy being
But-
smart and strategizing battles.
And making handicrafts.
Yeah.
Like quilts.
I made a quilt and also a battle plan.
Maybe she made a battle plan on the quilt.
She's smart. No one would think to look at the quilt.
Yeah. So Athena was also a virgin goddess, just like Artemis and just like Hestia as well.
Yeah.
It just seems like she, out of all of them, kind of has her ducks in the row like the best.
Yeah, I again haven't heard a negative thing about Athena, so I know Hera's kind of a victim, so I feel bad voting against her, but putting up with Zeus's bullshit. But Athena did too as the daughter, so I'm gonna vote for her.
Did she really put up with his shit?
I mean,
Aside from being born from him?
yeah, that's enough. Talking about pulled out of the thigh is the therapy thing. Pulled out of the head.
But she was fully armored. He was taken.
Voting Athena. Not even thinking twice about it.
I'm voting Hera. Because I just want Hera to get better. I just want her to do better. I just want her to have better. She deserves better.
Agreed. But I think I'm also voting for Athena.
And rightfully so.
Hera's still cool, but Athena moves on to our final four. And then our next matchup in the Elite Eight has Hestia versus Artemis. So remember Hestia, another one. Again, these are both the other two of the virgin goddesses. Hestia with the hearth and home, Artemis with the hunt and the moon and the young girls.
Young girls.
Do you like hunting or do you like homing?
The young girls thing is a drawback. What does that mean?
Maybe she looks like a young girl and likes to go to the mall. And go. She has a TikTok.
I mean-
I don't know.
You see you're doing the Stacy dance.
She does TikTok dances.
I'm voting for
She's
Artemis.
kind of like the patron and protector of young girls, not in a weird, creepy way.
Oh, I'm in.
I'm
in.
looking out for them. Yeah.
They need her.
Yeah, Hestia doesn't do too much. I'm gonna go with Artemis.
The young girls need her with Zeus on the prowl.
Yeah, I'll go with Artemis as well. Hestia is cool, but she almost doesn't do quite enough. All right, so that takes care of that matchup. Next up, we've got Ares, the god of war, again against our final matchup, Hermes. Damn, Hermes, back at it again with those winged sandals. So Hermes, we all know, is got the little winged sandal. He flitters around like a dork, but he's the god of boundaries, travel, trade, communication, language, writing, cunning, and thieves.
Nice. The god of the thieves.
And he's also a psychopomp, which is a word that I had no idea what it was. But a psychopomp is a soul guide or a conductor of souls into the afterlife, which now I realize, oh, yes, he did do that.
Oh, so he be working with Hades.
Yes, but just kind of again doing his job, not
Oh.
maliciously doing anything. But I guess somebody needs a guide when they die to go into the afterlife, and you're stuck with Hermes.
Oh, so he's the mailman.
It's kind of lame.
Just doing his job.
Let's see, Hermes. Yes, there we go. Lovers and children. Oh yeah, Hermes fucked around.
Hermes.
Hermes fucked around.
Fuck
Obviously,
boy.
They say popular Rolling Stone.
he laid with Aphrodite, Brimo, diarrhea.
Diarrhea.
It's spelled Daeira, so I don't know.
This man is weird.
Yeah,
Laying with diarrhea.
Mm-hmm. He slept with tons of women, and was sneaky about many of them. He used a wand to put a woman to sleep, and then slept with her.
I'm
I'm
out.
out.
I'm out.
Yeah.
Look, I was gonna
Um,
vote for Ares anyway. I know he has his vices as well, but he's kind of cool in terms of the God of War and shit.
He's always ready to run fade.
Yeah.
He beat Ares in a boxing match.
Ooh,
Hermes?
Yeah, and then won a woman.
Oh my god.
Well, he ain't beating Ares in this match. I'm voting Ares.
He raped
No,
people.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna vote Ares too.
That's a clean
Yeah.
sweep for Ares.
The last bit about Hermes is this woman Pelonopeia was loved by Hermes, and he had sex with her in the form of a goat, which resulted in the god Pan, which is the little goat-legged dork with the goat horns, but like the half-human body.
They are.
Greeks are weird.
Greek gods are
They're
assholes, and they're weird except for except for a minority of them.
Right. It just look. All right. So our last matchup in the Elite Eight has Hades against Demeter. So do we root for the person who abducted Demeter's daughter, or the mother of Demeter's daughter? Yeah, the mother of Demeter's daughter.
Well, Hades didn't light anybody on fire, but then he did use forced coercion on the Persephone, which is whack. And then Demeter, all she wanted to do was just find her daughter. So I'm voting Demeter.
I don't like Demeter, but Hades has lost some luster when I heard about the coercion thing.
Yeah, that's not cool.
Yeah, man. And if you can't beat Hermes in a boxing match, Hermes is like 4'8". It's like Danny DeVito if he wasn't so big. Like, come on. You're not the god of war if you can't beat Hermes in boxing.
That's true.
Also voting for Demeter.
I guess I'll vote for Demeter. I don't like Demeter, though.
I like Demeter.
Okay, so we've made our final four, our top matchup: Athena versus Artemis.
All right, so I'm gonna lay all of my cards on the table for both these next two rounds. Is I'm gonna vote for the two war gods. So I'm gonna vote for Athena, the battle strategist.
And then remind me of Artemis.
Artemis was the goddess of the hunt and the wilderness and animals, the moon, and the kind of protector of young girls.
I'm going Artemis.
See, I think I am too,
She's
especially in
protecting
this
our children.
time where men were just such ass clowns.
Yeah, she's protecting our children.
Young girl,
Horrible.
they need
horrible
somebody
God.
on this team.
Look out! Here comes Zeus.
All right, next up, Ares versus Demeter. So I know we know Andy's going straight for Ares.
I like Ares. I like Athena. I thought a cool war gods final would have been fun.
Yeah. Are we? Let's see. I do like Ares as well, but like, you don't just get to make love to Aphrodite on your husband's bed and get away with it. Luckily, you didn't, but can't. That's just a dumb decision.
Yeah, but all of them. We're talking about a woman who threw a child in a fire. They all make dumb
Out of
decisions.
Distress.
Her intent was to make the child immortal.
That don't make sense, and you're coming up with the distress shit just to make her look
You're
good.
sitting here telling me that doesn't make sense, but a dude can be sewn into somebody's thigh, and that makes sense.
None of it makes sense.
Exactly. So get out of here with that.
Yeah, but in the established weird world of this, people were like, that's not going to work, Demeter. Don't put the child in the fire, Demeter. And then Demeter's like, fire?
Well, no one said that to her at first. The mom had to come bust in and go, no, 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 no.
Yeah, but the fact that the mom had to come in and say, no, 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 I mean, in this pre-established world, then we know fire does not make children immortal.
How do you know that? They fuck, like, they come off that.
Child
what
and
about
fire.
Hermes? What about Hermes? He became a goat, had sex with a woman, now you have Pan. Does that make sense?
But
It could have been
you
immortal.
can't, I mean, child in the fire is stupid. That's what I will say. Child in the fire dumb.
And she lost her daughter. So I'm voting Demeter.
I think for the sake of fun, I will vote for Ares and have at least one war god
Oh my
Yeah, the god of war.
in the finale. All right, so Artemis or Ares. Andy, are you still on the path of the war god?
I have so much respect for Artemis for protecting the world from Zeus, though. The world needs protection from Zeus. That's what I've learned today.
Our children need protection, and Artemis is doing just that.
But Ares is the god of war, which is cool.
But he got caught in a net and got beat by Hermes
It's because of
in a
boxing.
boxing match.
Yeah, but boxing's lame. He needs his staff to go pokey pokey in the face. But
Boxing is not lame. You liar.
lame.
He got beat still. I mean, he's the god of war, and you can't beat somebody in a boxing match.
Well, is that how war is determined, through fisticuffs?
I mean, if it comes to that,
He's got weapons.
why do you think they call it the sweet science?
I don't call it the sweet science.
Boxing is known as the sweet science.
Oh yeah. All right.
I
So,
mean, I
voting
don't know if
Artemis.
you're going to win a boxing discussion with Julian.
yeah, he's got distinct biases. I see.
Let's not pretend here. Yeah, let's not pretend that Artemis, isn't equally badass. When Queen Niobe mocked Artemis's mother for only having 2 children, Artemis and Apollo, they both ended up taking their revenge by killing all 14 of Niobe's children.
Damn.
So child murder's okay, huh?
It's
like,
children
hey,
murder
this
children.
this
It's okay.
woman insulted me, so I'm going to kill all her children.
I hope none of them were little girls. Shit.
Yeah.
That kind of goes against her whole thing.
I don't know.
Has Ares killed any children?
I'm sure he has.
Yes.
Yes.
No, by his own hand, though.
Yes. He's the god of war. Of course, he's probably single-handedly murked a whole nation of people before.
Perhaps.
And he likes to see that shit. Are those babies getting stabbed? Yeah!
Count me in.
Apparently, Artemis is the same then.
Well, we don't know how old were those children.
I mean, 14 of them, you'd assume they're probably not all adult children.
I don't know. Depends.
Ares killed Poseidon's son.
Yeah!
No wonder Poseidon's.
No, don't give Poseidon any excuses
wonder
for
he's-
being a big bumbling oaf.
I mean, but still, somebody murdered. I get it. So it's like Poseidon and Demeter really love their kids. One of them has them kidnapped. Now is making
How do you
dumb
know-
decisions and is really sad. And it's just like,
What came first? What came first? All of Poseidon's dumb decisions or the murder of his kid?
Maybe it was the murder of his children. You don't know.
You don't know. You're making assumptions.
I feel like that's the likely scenario. 'Cause think
Why
of
is
it.
that the likely scenario in a world where people are birthed from thighs? Anything is possible.
Well, not birthed. Well, yeah.
Yeah, birthed.
Birthed, right, birthed from thighs. I'm just saying, both of them were obviously distressed.
I want to know where
Demeter was
Andy's
more
going.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm still leaning Artemis right now. And nobody likes Ares. He does it to himself, dude. Like, stop being so bloodthirsty, and then maybe you'll get along better.
He's the god of war. How could the god of war not be bloodthirsty?
Athena is also, the partial god of war, but she was more about, the strategy and the tactics and the glory. He's just about bloodshed and killing and like chaos.
Taking by force. He's cool.
I mean,
No, I'm voting for Artemis. I'm sorry. We're gonna end this one early.
I'll vote for Artemis. That's fine. I don't care either way. I just want some. I like Ares, but I mean, it's true.
Yeah.
And if you want to know how I was gonna go, Athena was my favorite.
Honestly, Athena probably should have won.
Yeah, Athena. I wanted the God of War matchup, and I was gonna vote for Athena.
Oh well. That's bracket up for you.
Really, what I wanted was Party God against
I was
Athena.
totally happy until I found out that Artemis was like, she killed 14 children with her twin brother.
She was a child herself.
She was a child?
Yeah, did you not see the Playmobil?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
But wait a minute, then.
Too late.
Boy Apollo was a child because they're
Other
twins. Was he
Sure.
fucking other twins, or was he fucking other gods who were adults?
Well, I mean, like they grew up, but I think that this
Oh.
particular story happened when they were, children.
Oh.
I was starting to be like, wait a minute.
Right. No, he wasn't.
This would have
having-
changed a lot of votes. Who was with Apollo? They don't get my vote.
Like again, Athena gets birthed out of the forehead, fully armed. Like you can't be a baby. Like you have to be 20 years old. If like
Yeah.
This shit's just make it up as it goes along.
Athena should have won this. That's the moral of my
Athena
story
should
here.
have won.
And y'all
Why did-
voted against Athena.
I did. Who voted with me? What?
I voted Athena here.
Julianne.
Because the protector of young children, and I was like, oh, that's cool. But then I found out that she murdered kids.
Protector
She
of
might
her
have-
young children.
But then it's weird.
Protector of children that she chooses to protect.
All good though. So this was pretty fun.
Yeah.
I don't know about you guys, but I kind of enjoyed putting this together. I didn't know like much about Greek mythology before this, and I still don't know much afterwards. But we all know Zeus is bad.
Zeus is weird.
Zeus is bad news.
You need an Artemis when there's a Zeus.
You need everybody else when there's a Zeus to try and just stop Zeus.
Zeus sucks.
Zeus sucks.
Mhm.
Hera
Yeah.
deserves better.
Zeus sucks.
Hera deserves
Agreed completely. So, on today's episode of Bracket Up, we found out that the best major Greek god / Greek goddess is Artemis, who won all 4 of her rounds and is the champion. Go Artemis. Ares in second place. Athena and Demeter round out the final 4. As we just mentioned, the other guys were rooting for Athena, but she didn't win. Oh well, third place isn't too bad. Anything else to add before we officially wrap this up?
Zeus sucks.
Zeus is weird.
Yeah, I think the less about Zeus we ever bring up in future podcasts, the better.
Let's do a podcast of all of Zeus's heinous acts and which one is the
Which
worst.
one is the worst?
No, Lord. I just feel gross after like 10 minutes, I bet.
I'd leave and take a shower.
Let's cut this one short. All right, so for the Giggle King himself, Mr. Julian Griffin,
Yeah.
for the swarthy Greek, Andy Misek,
It was
I am handy dandy Andy Jarek. We will see you next week on Bracket Up with no mentions of Zeus. We'll be Zeus free.